Now I would like to welcome Ms. Priyanka Agarwal Chopra to the dais. Ms. Agarwal Chopra is the Chief Operating Officer at CIICO. I invite her to speak about the Bharat Inclusion Initiative and share the context of our work on financial inclusion for rural transformation.
Thank you, Tisha. Good morning, everyone, and a very warm welcome to CIICO. CIICO was built at IIM Ahmedabad to identify and plug gaps in the Indian innovation and entrepreneurship ecosystem. Since our founding, our singular focus has been on supporting fearless entrepreneurs building game-changing solutions, especially in industries and geographies where there are market failures and private sector support is hard to find. So with this plugging of gaps as our North Star and solving for tough problems in our DNA, we set up the Bharat Inclusion Initiative in 2017-18 timeframe to solve for the hard problem of financial inclusion in the country in the only way we knew best, which is supporting entrepreneurs building technology-enabled solutions. Back when we set up the program, the technology for inclusion space in the country was very nascent. Through the Jan Dhan Aadhaar Mobile Trinity, we believed that the technology infrastructure and the enabling policy environment that was required by entrepreneurs to overcome the traditional cost barriers and profitably reach financial services to the poor had already been established. But even with that, and with the seemingly large opportunity, we saw that very few entrepreneurs, innovators were flocking to the space. Given that we had a decade-long experience of catalyzing entrepreneurship for tough spaces, we realized that we would have to create an enabling environment in multiple ways. One, we would have to very clearly articulate the needs of the poor. Two, we would need to demonstrate that it was viable and profitable to serve these aspirations of the poor. Three, we would have to demystify the technologies that could be used. And finally, we would have to provide access to patient capital as these new ventures took root. Our thesis was that if we were successful in doing this, then we would be able to attract and harness a lot more entrepreneurial energy to build for Bharat. So how did we do it? We deliberately took a full stack end-to-end approach when designing the Bharat Inclusion Initiative. It is a mouthful, so we call it BII. We set up research fellowships to develop deeper insights about the Bharat market, insights that were based on data and not just anecdotal information. We set up incubation and acceleration programs to channelize these insights emanating from research into use cases, pro-poor use cases that could be catalyzed through technology. We ran sprints, hackathons, grand challenges to evangelize technology, to surface the right solutions. And finally, we set up grants and impact funds to finance entrepreneurs as they were building their products, their prototypes, and doing their field trials. Over the years, BII has supported over 13 research studies to unearth high-impact use cases. We have supported over 50 entrepreneurs in as diverse areas as feature phone payments, credit, insurance, savings, agri-financial services, infrastructure creation. Entrepreneurs that have been supported by us through this program have raised over $70 million in external funding and are currently cumulatively serving about 23 million customers in the low and middle income segments. These customers are micro entrepreneurs, they are women, they are gig workers, they are smallholder farmers. So as the program progressed, our understanding of what we call the Bharat market also significantly improved. Amongst the various nuances that we became conversant with, one of the biggest understanding or realization for us was the difference between the rural and the urban customer. Most of our startups were building solutions for the urban customer. I guess it was natural because they came from the urban market and therefore their interfaces with the urban customers were a lot greater. There was a deeper understanding of this customer, there was more empathy for this customer, and therefore a natural drive to build solutions that could help solve for their problems. The few rural-focused startups that we were able to work with were also primarily focused on agri-financial services. The obvious challenges were this huge friction to reach the rural customer, high distribution costs. And we realized that as an ecosystem, we have very sparse understanding of the rural household as a customer. As we were looking around for experts that could help us decode the rural household, help us understand the value propositions that drive them, help us evaluate whether the existing financial products and services were effectively able to meet these value propositions, we found Professors Hari Nagarajan, Vivek Pandey, and Abhiman Das in our own backyard. Over a year of deliberations and discussions helped solidify our belief in rigorous research and its potential to surface insights that would inform robust product design, thereby enabling not only creation of these products, but also adoption and usage of these products by rural households, and therefore pushing the boundaries of financial inclusion in the country. So with this financial inclusion for rural transformation study, we hope to bridge the worlds of academia, of industry, and of policy making for financial inclusion. As Professor Hari mentioned, we will be diving deep into questions and themes that will help surface insights that entrepreneurs can use for product creation, but also policymakers can use for understanding impact and therefore designing deeper interventions to solve for financial inclusion. We are deliberately focusing on women, not just as recipients, but also active drivers of inclusion. And as the day progresses, we will be discussing emergent insights that will showcase to you that financial inclusion of women has noticeable outcomes for the household. We at CIICO are very excited about the promise and potential of this research and this body of work to significantly deepen financial inclusion of rural India. Thank you.